Prior to release, I was hesitant about how much I liked the combat in Tales of Arise. I couldn't stand the new combat that its predecessor, Tales of Berseria, introduced to the series, and I was worried Arise would be similar to it. To the point I was hesitant on even picking the game up until I knew for sure it was for me or not. Then I got my hands on the demo for Arise, and while I liked it, I wasn't in love just yet. After having played the actual full release now, I think this boils down to the demo not explaining the intricacies of every character as well as it could've, and also just kinda being overwhelmed having 6 characters with tons of arts immediately at your disposal. Yeah, it's a nice way to get a feel for everyone, but playing the full release of Arise has made me appreciate these characters more when you get them knowing only about 3 arts. That way you can not only appreciate and understand their bare bones gameplay without a million arts to choose from off the bat, but it also lets you experiment with every new art you learn one at a time, to see what meshes with your personal playstyle and what doesn't. You learn Sword Ring Alpha. Do you like it? Does it flow well with your other moves? Then you keep it around in your rotation. If not, just leave it alone. Or maybe you realize another move you learned down the line flows into Sword Ring Alpha well, so you decide to bring it back and make them into a combo. It's this trial and error experimentation that made every character in Arise a joy not only to play, but constantly progress with through every step of the game with. As of this recording, I have 5 of the 6 characters unlocked, and each has surprised me in some way or another. Main character Alfin is the easiest to combo with and has the most amount of arts, but his unique trait of sacrificing his own HP to deal more damage is more of a risk than it would have been in any other Tales game with the new CP system, where everyone pulls from a very limited pool of healing MP. It makes the decision to use this trait an important one, in boss battles especially, where a little CP can make quite a big difference. Xion may be my favorite character to use, since gun users tend to be super fun in Tales games, and in addition to her offensive gun moves, she's also your dedicated healer for the most part, and even can use bombs with special effects. So using her as a constant juggling of being offensive and monitoring the HP of your allies to make sure they stay alive. Rinwell may be a contender for the most versatile and fun mage the series has ever seen, which is saying a lot since Rita from Vesperia and the mages from Grace's F exists. Rinwell can store her magic instead of immediately casting it, and then use that stored magic to either launch 2 spells back to back, or even fuse her spells to a higher level one even if she doesn't even have access to it as an art yet. I don't have too many arts for her yet, but her ability to combine her spells more than makes up for it, and I can't wait to see what combinations will be a possibility in the future. Law admittedly is my least favorite character to use so far, but that's mainly because fist users in Tales games have never really been my thing, but that doesn't change the fact his potential is pretty insane from what I've seen so far. Law's unique trait is giving himself a glowing power-up mode the longer you string combos together, and I've already found a skill that lets you do 2 stacks to this, so if there's even more levels later in the game, I can't even fathom what a destructive force will have the potential to become in the hands of someone that knows what they're doing. Kisara is the last member I have so far and the one I have the least amount of arts with, but I already really like using her. She has the unique trait of being the only character in the game that can guard instead of evading, and can even power up her combos if you initiate them out of guarding. As I said, I haven't gotten the last party member yet, but I have no doubt I'll have high praise for him as well when he joins. And I haven't brought up boost attacks, which are more important than I gave them credit for when I played the demo. Each party member can stop a certain action with their boost attack, and they're actually pretty essential to combat. Alfin knocks down enemies, Xion grounds flying enemies, Rinwell can stop enemies from casting magic and then give herself that same spell, lock and break armored foes, and Kisara can stop charging enemies in their tracks and then apply a defense buff to the party. These boost attacks really come into play with the bosses of the game, which honestly I could do a whole video alone on. If you don't know by now, bosses in Arise are unable to be juggled and comboed like normal. Instead, what they've done is either give bosses weak points for you to target and topple them with, or there's certain actions bosses will take that make you have to use a specific boost attack to stop them from dealing massive damage to you, or another type of punish. On one hand, this actually makes some bosses more strategic than ever before, as you'll have to be on a constant lookout for actions you'll have a few second window to use a boost attack on to cancel. And this is where the bosses in this game can truly shine and stand out amongst the other ones in the series. But on the other hand, some bosses feel unbalanced in almost an unfair or unfun way. I've run into a couple bosses that are just HP sponges no matter what difficulty you're on, and are just a chore to do because you'll be hacking away their HP forever. And I'm hoping this doesn't become the norm in the game going forward, but I of course have no way of knowing just yet. Despite that issue, I'm still having a blast with Tales of Arise. I haven't had this much genuine fun playing a brand new Tales game since Grace's F almost a decade ago in 2012. And if the game continues to go the way it's been, it may end up being a favorite of mine in the series by the end. I have a lot more to say about the game, but I'll save that for my eventual review of the game once I've beaten it, hopefully within the month. And a reminder to everyone that the goal for 2021 here on YouTube is to reach 5,000 subscribers, and with your help, I know we can do it. So leave a like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.